welcome to the Random podcast where we talk about random and dumb things. I'm Connor.
I'm Tyson.
And this is our teacher, older teacher, Dr. Dreesen.
Yes, I am here too.
He was our junior high Bible teacher.
Yeah.
So
Many moons ago.
Yep.
last year. So, Tyson, do you have questions set up?
Why did you become a Bible teacher here at LCS?
Good question. So many better options. Well, I became a teacher after I went to seminary, and I really just wanted to learn the Bible is why I went there. And while I was in school, some of my classmates did substitute teaching to pay for bills and other stuff, that you have to do. So I started substitute teaching when I moved to North Carolina and decided I really liked the classroom. I did not want to be a youth pastor, so that was a way for me to teach an age group that I was more comfortable with and do it every day and actually progress through some subject material. So that's my long story. I moved to Lincoln because I'm from here, and it's closer to my wife's family, and we have small children, and Nebraska's the best state, so.
Well, I think that's quite the compliment.
Let's see. Did you enjoy art class?
Your grade of kids?
Yeah.
Well, they were the first group that I've taught for 2 years. Up to that point, all of my classes were just one and done. So that was nice to get to know some people a little bit better. It was a good group. Miss them now. It's like you teach them for 2 years and then they just leave and say hi every once in a while in the hallway, and that's it.
Dr. Dreesen's one of our famous. I feel like even some of the juniors and seniors and sophomores sophomores you had, but I feel like some of the juniors and seniors really like you even though they've never even had any of your classes.
Yeah.
Who used to be the junior high Bible teacher before Dr. Dreesen was?
I don't know. I just started coming to school last year, and he was the Bible teacher, and that was really nice.
Mm-hmm. Because I came in here when you started teaching, and, I've been here since kindergarten, but I came into this side of the school when you started teaching, so I don't know who taught junior high Bible before Dr. Dreesen.
Yeah.
Do you know who taught it before you?
I do. It was Mr. Worka. I don't know where he is now. Michigan or something.
I remember meeting him a couple times. He's pretty nice. He's a good guy.
So we probably can't ask who your favorite student is and stuff like that. But what do you think makes a good student, what makes a good teacher for them to have kind of the best relationship and learn the most but still have fun?
I always tell students in Bible class, especially at the beginning of the year, the Bible is one that you could probably slack off and get your grade and not learn anything, but it's one that if you actually commit to learning and doing the work and using the time, I don't think you'll have to work any harder, but you'll get a lot more out of the class. So I think a good student then is one who is dedicated and committed to doing the work and trying to learn and improve themselves, more so than just doing the work because they're in class and they have to.
It's a good model right there for any young aspiring students out there listening to us.
Aspiring students.
What is your favorite book or story of the Bible? Just whichever one you can think of, either story or book.
I like to go through the Kings, actually. So, looking at some of the history outside of the Israel of the Bible and seeing the influence of those people on the people in the Bible, I think is really interesting. So when you talk about Jehu in the Old Testament was promised by God that his sons would be on the throne for 4 generations before the Assyrians take over. And then if you look at Assyrian history, they go through a period of that exact same amount of time, it's about 100 years, where they are weakened to the point that they have a lot of conflict to deal with in their homelands. And just seeing how God orchestrates things in history to fulfill his promises in the Old Testament, I think is really cool. So,
yeah.
As a Bible teacher, what do you think is the hardest thing in the Bible to believe?
To believe?
Like, what seems the most suspicious in the Bible?
Well, I would hope nothing. I think that the belief or faith is that first step is the hardest for people. Like,
Yeah.
you have to be willing to come to the end of yourself, and God draws them, yes, but to make that commitment, and then once you make that commitment, I think it opens up the rest. So,
Yeah. And I mean, I say suspicious. Obviously, we believe in the Bible, but I just say that as like some people are willing to believe some of it, but not some part of it because there's just like something in it that they're not willing to believe.
A lot of different churches that have split off are like they believe in some parts of the Bible but not the other, or they add more, or they take out some and
Or they like
replace things.
what's the word? They view it differently.
Yeah. That's how a lot of churches split, is those things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the different views on creation come up. Not so much with students here, but just the idea of creation being long-term or short-term. How old is the earth? Beyond that, I think the Bible being literal is something that's coming under more scrutiny or lenience, I guess, in the academic world. So beyond probably our walls again, but that Jesus literally did the things that he did and that you can study them in order, because I teach the life of Christ where we go chronological order. People even deny that you can do that because they would say that the Bible is just meant to be life lessons that don't necessarily come from literal stories or events. And I would disagree with that.
Yeah, Mr. Nide kind of touched up on that a lot too. He's our current Bible teacher, so.
Yeah. But Mr. Nide can never replace Dr. Dreesen. Yeah, Dr. Dreesen was...
I do like Mr. Nide though.
Yeah, we both have their things that they're good at with Bible, and I like them both. I wish I could have them both.
That'd be fun.
I mean, Mr. Nide does good. I mean, I like having Mr. Nide. I feel like his history class would probably be pretty fun.
Yeah.
I used to teach history.
Yeah.
Yep.
In North Carolina.
Yep.
Oh, this is a question that they ask at like the first day of school, and I think it would be a good one for every teacher interview we have. What class would you much rather have if you couldn't teach the one you do now?
So if I couldn't teach Bible, what class would I teach?
Yeah.
Well, I've been asked that before. I think I would teach ancient history if I could. When I did my undergraduate work and got my bachelor's in history, I took a lot of ancient Greece classes in Rome. And that's always been my favorite time period of history. So being able to teach some of the ancient world stuff I think would be really fun. I already brought up the Assyrians earlier, but there's a lot of interplay with the Bible as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like ancient history too. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So you've gone on a lot of trips to like places like Israel and things around there, like Bible trips almost. Which one was your favorite? Like, what was your favorite area you went to?
Well, I think most who go to Israel would say that that when you come into Jerusalem, there's something different. You feel something special. The whole land is the land of the Bible, but then you get to the city itself. It's like stepping back in time, but seeing the modern elements there, and also understanding the historical significance. I think that's my favorite probably place I've been is Jerusalem.
What was like your favorite either unit, topic, or project that was your favorite for either 7th or 8th grade that you taught?
That's a tough question. I really like in 8th grade Bible in the Life of Christ unit, there's a section of Jesus' life that I've referred to other people before me, but as the private preparation where Jesus trains the 12 disciples. And I think that section, which is like Mark 6 through 9, is sometimes really misunderstood. So I like to talk about that in class and kind of emphasize why does Jesus start telling people that they shouldn't tell people that Jesus healed them and those kinds of things. And when we start to look at it, it ultimately culminates at Caesarea Philippi when Jesus tells the 12 that he's going to die and that they need to be ready for what's coming next. So, I don't know, I've always liked teaching that unit. It's one I've done outside of school too, in other settings.
This was a long time ago. I think, didn't we have one where I think it was like the Ark we rebuilt with like popsicle sticks and stuff like that as a group? That one was fun. Was it the Ark? We like did popsicle
I think that was an option. I don't remember.
That one was fun. You still do that one? Or?
Yeah, not many people take up the option for the build it side of projects.
Really? Those are always my favorite projects for those
To
ones.
get crafty projects. So Connor, you have had his class 1 year longer than I have. What was your favorite part about Bible?
In like 7th grade, the one that you weren't here?
Just either one, I guess.
Well, it's a long time ago. Even though it was last year, it still feels like a lot.
I know.
Like a long time ago. I know this sounds cliche and I'm copying, but I do really like when we talked about the preparation of Jesus' like goings and preparing them to lead on without him and things like that. That was 8th grade. Right?
That's the
8th
commission,
grade.
right?
Yeah.
Like as he's about to go.
Really liked that part. It was always fun. I always loved the drive-through history.
Oh yeah, drive-through history.
Yeah, those videos are popular. Everyone loves them.
So Dr. Dreesen does this thing where he'll open up your picture from fax, put it in a small window, and as we're watching a video of like drive-through history, he'll drag it across the screen, and we'll just see random
put a
people.
photo of us on there.
And I've heard stories that my picture has gone across the screen, like now that I'm in 9th grade, like for the 7th and 8th grade.
Just when your sister's in the room.
Oh, just when my sister has classy.
I would never do anything like that for the official record.
What did you like about Dr. Dreesen that you never got from the other teachers? What made him special? Not to put you on the spot or anything.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be my interview. I would just say how he's a lot more open with us and kind of just not like lets us do whatever we want, but he just kind of is more relaxed on that side of things. And as long as we kind of pay attention and are doing what we're supposed to in a general sense, he didn't really mind the side of it. And I kind of like that. Like, as long as you're doing okay and not like bringing others down and like distracting others, that side of it was nice.
So, Dr. Dreesen, as a teacher, what do you strive to be best at?
Maybe I'll answer that question in the negative. So my biggest fear is that I'll have a student, even for 2 years, who does kind of what I talked about earlier, that they just kind of float through class, don't really try to apply any of the lessons or learn on their own. So like I try to give students a lot of freedom so they can be creative in their learning. Also encouraging them to actually do the work beyond just saying, hey, do this, and this is another school assignment. So that's the balance that I always try to find between giving students something that they can use and learn and grow with, but also holding them accountable. We are in school, we have to do work, those kinds of things. So making them engaging, interesting for everyone.
Yeah. And also I'm sure it's nice that since it's a Bible class, there's not really any like you can kind of go over any kind of subject or that you want since there's no Nebraska guidelines against like there's no set of things like you have to go over. It's that kind of nice to be able to talk about just kind of any part of the Bible that you feel like people need to hear.
Yeah, that is nice. Sometimes it's difficult to know what to do or what to talk about, but or like what's even grade level appropriate. How deep can we get into a subject? But yeah, it's good. We can, if we need to take a day or a week to do something else, we can always do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then do you still teach
communications?
Communications.
Yeah, I do. We just started that in 7th grade this semester.
Yeah. I always liked that class. Was fun.
When I shadowed Connor, he had digital communications or whatever, and then he had Bible and then communications.
I shadowed a lot of people that year. If you guys don't know what shadowing is, I don't know if I'm sure other schools do it too, but I really don't know. It's kind of somebody who wants to go to school can kind of go with you for a day and kind of see if they really like the school or if they're thinking about going to it. And in 7th grade, I shadowed a lot of people because basically Tyson, he was homeschooled with a lot of other kids that go here now, and I shadowed all of them. And there's a few.
Yeah.
So, anyways.
I didn't get to see Dr. Dreesen on my shadow day.
You didn't?
Mr. Lockyer subbed for him.
Oh, yeah.
And then I walked into 8th grade Bible. And I didn't know him at first, but as I got to know him, he was like one of my favorite teachers.
Thank you.
You're
And then Mr. Mink.
Well, yeah, Mr. Mink's good too.
Mr. Mink's great. He's got the beard and
He's got the
His
Lin-
goatee going on now.
yeah.
He's got the Lin-Manuel Miranda look.
Don't know who that is, but
No comment.
So this was our first teacher interview on the Random Podcast.
Ooh, I got to be the first.
You
Yeah.
did. This is a very different episode. It's different than a lot of our normal ones. So, well, this is Connor Tyson signing off.
And Dr.
And
Dreesen.
Dr. Dreesen signing off.
Goodbye.